What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you so much to each and every single one of you that have been making this channel possible. The channel grows each and every single day because of all of you. So if you like what you see and you enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Also, smash that like button and comment in the comments section below. Also, I do have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001. So if you're interested in any single cards or graded slabs, I currently have a bunch that are listed. And I have a few bids that have already gone through. One person actually paid for their order. I'm going to wait for another day or two to see what happens with the rest of the bids and auctions that I have. And I will be listing sooner than later the collection of the Michelin Nets refractors that I hinted to a while back. So it's just I've been busy. And of course, you know, with a lot of stuff that's been going on here in the Carolinas and everything like that, a lot of us have been talking. It's actually raining a little bit right now as I'm making this video. Again, my condolences to anyone who lost a family member with this hurricane. There are a lot of people here in North and South Carolina that got hit pretty hard. So, of course, on behalf of this channel, our thoughts go out to all of you, to my fellow Carolinians, whether you're in North or South, or of course in Georgia or anywhere that people got affected by this storm. But anyway, if you want to help support the channel, the link to my eBay store is in the description box below. So go check out those auctions. I was going to make a review video of some of the collectibles that I got. I'm actually currently waiting for a delivery of some more stuff, including another tabletop stand, because the one that I have there that's on my patio table I hinted to in my Soundwave video that I just made the other day, and that's more for the hands-on when I do pack rips. As a matter of fact, I have 4 Bowman Chrome Mega Boxes that are on their way. I just got the shipping email from Tops, so they should be here quite soon. I don't know if they're coming today or not, but like I said, I've checked the USPS informed delivery email that I just got, so there's several packages coming. I've got so much junk coming, we'll see. But, you know, mostly it's stuff for the channel to review and a couple of personal items for myself that I definitely want to show off on the channel. But anyway, I have another tabletop stand coming so that this way it makes it a little easier so I don't have this big monstrosity. Even though this thing serves me well, it's just, you know, it's a semi-professional grade camera stand. It's got a handle and all sorts of knobs and things on there. Again, this was the upgraded stand that I've been using all this time, which, of course, I thank all of you for supporting the channel by picking up the slabs. It's what helped me to upgrade this current setup I got. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling on here. I want to get right to this topic because I see it coming up again and again and again in my comments in 1 or 2 of my videos. And we need to knock this one out of the park. As I said, I really didn't want to talk about this subject anymore. I've seen Dan the Cardman and a couple other content creators talk about this. When it comes to autographs that have allegedly been cleaned and then submitted to PSA coming back PSA 10. Now, for a lot of you brainless, low IQ dirtbags that are out there that apparently don't go back and watch previous videos on this channel, I have made it publicly clear that I do not and will not attack the man. Of course, I'm referring to Kurt's Card Kit. I used to use it myself. I no longer do because of things like this. And for the 1 or 2 numbnuts that are out there who are selectively watching my videos saying, well, you use furniture polish, don't you? I stated later on in future videos, since that one video I released, that I no longer use anything. I do use 3 types of microfiber cloths that have different thicknesses to them, but I don't use any chemicals at all. So my customers, when they get their cards, there's no peanut butter on them, Kurt's peanut butter. I'll use a microfiber cloth. I actually use a soft bristle brush should there be any dust or any type of surface schmutz on there. But, you know, when it comes to the tire marks that usually come on Topps Chrome, quick wipe of any one of the 3 types of microfiber cloths that I have usually does the job. So I don't use any chemicals, no furniture polish, no water, no gum out, no anything. You know, I don't use Kurt's Card Care's peanut butter anymore. I've stopped using that months ago. I don't use furniture polish, period. Did you hear that? Dear Internet, listen to my voice. I do not use furniture polish or anything any longer. It's too much of a liability, not just for my sales, but for my customers. Because let's just say if someone buys a single off of me, and they submit that to SGC or PSA, that's your prerogative as my customer. I've mentioned this before. I've had people buy cards off of me just to relist them for ridiculously inflated prices, but that's your prerogative if you want to do that. That's how capitalism works. You know, because I know some idiot out there is going to start screaming, "Hey, capitalism!" Right. But the hobby lately has got out of control. And I mentioned Dan the Card Man and several of my fellow content creators out there that care about this hobby. And, you know, full disclosure, I'm still fairly new to the hobby. I mean, I've been part of it now for maybe a year, I want to say, something like that. And I've noticed there's just a lot of strange things that go on. And I've said this in previous videos, that anything that can be taken advantage of, used, abused, scammed, stolen, what have you, it's going to happen. Because people out there don't care about the hobby. They care about one thing and one thing only, and that's filling their wallets. They care about profit and have no concern, nor care, nor love for the hobby. That box you're looking at right here has some old school Don Russ and other mixed cards in there from the junk wax era, which I'm going through. They're all beat up and messed up, but I'm perfectly fine with them because it's, you know, I deal mostly with modern age cards, you know, so to get some, you know, junk wax cards like this, you know, for me it's kind of cool. Because, you know, as a kid I had baseball cards, we all did. But, you know, as an adult, you know, at this point in my life, at this stage of the game, you know, I'm mostly focused on ultra modern or modern. But I'm going to pull out one or two slabs. Let's see, what's a good one to pull out? So we're going to get into this because here's a good example of one. This is my Ethan Salas Bowman Chrome First 10 out of 10. This is probably like anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 card right here. Submitted to SGC. Perfect 10/10 across the board. It wasn't cleaned, it wasn't wiped, it wasn't anything. It was straight from the pack right into a penny sleeve and sent right to SGC for submission. Came back a perfect 10/10. The reason I bring up this particular card, I'm going to have to change. I bought brand new plastic envelopes for these because a lot of these are kind of like, it doesn't fit these properly. I want to get the ones that SGC themselves use because the Ultras, they suck. They just don't close properly and it looks ugly. Anyway, I'm pulling this out because there are a bunch of autos that Dan the Card Man and a few other content creators out there talk about in PSA slabs that you see the before and you see the after. That clearly they use Kurt's peanut butter to juice the card, to clean the card. And the auto has paid the price for that because you can see the side-by-side comparisons on their channel. I mean, I saw it on X myself on Dan the Card Man's account. And you can clearly see that, you know, a nice clean auto that looks like this was completely smudged in certain areas. And the person that posted that, you got to be a moron. Why would you post a before and after? Yeah, you got a PSA 10. That's fine and dandy, but you ruined what could potentially be a one-of-a-kind signature. Even if it's an out of 50, out of 25. What if it was a 1 of 1? And you did something like that. All of that just to get a PSA 10? I mean, you know, I've got cards in here that are not perfect. There's my Gunnar Henderson, which you guys probably saw here on the channel. It's a 9.5. I mean, it's not a perfect 10. I know PSA definitely would not grade this at 9. Well, they don't do half grades anyway. It would either be a 9 or probably even an 8, but SGC graded it at 10. Still happy with it, you know? And SGC has got a lot better with their grading. There's my Anthony Volpe, red out of 5, 9.5. It's off-centered. You know, I know the issues with these cards quite well that I own. You know, I might not have the massive collection that a lot of you guys and gals out there got, but I'm proud of my little modest collection of graded slabs, you know? It's not that I just buy and sell on eBay, but, you know, I care enough about this hobby that, you know, there are certain cards that I really, really wanted that I chased down that I got, or cards that I opened up that I'm like, wow, look at what I found, you know what I mean? Here, there's a Bryce Harper 9, which you guys saw here on the channel. The centering on it is not all that great. You know, there's some issues with the card, but it came back a 9. I'm still happy to have it. But that's the thing. There's a difference between caring about the hobby and the cards you own and doing everything you can just to nail a 10. And you know why? And I'm just going to say it. Greed. Greed. Absolute greed. All of these PSA slabs that I've got in this box. CJ Stroud, Gold Ice. You know, a lot of these I bought as singles because a lot of these cards I wanted here. Two of my favorite cards that I've wanted for years, I finally got. And that was the Griffey PSA 10 and a Don Mattingly rookie because I'm a Yankees fan. The problem with the hobby these days is that there's so much greed going on now that it's almost like, you know, anything goes. When you're scanning boxes using CT scanners just to see if there were patches or relics in those boxes, it's cheating. And it goes to show that these people do not care about the hobby. They care about grabbing those premium cards out of those boxes or rejecting boxes and putting them back up on the shelf so that some other schmuck can pick them up over at a Walmart or a sports card shop. And then they essentially grab that premium card out of that box and flip it and pull a value out of thin air. And that's what happens with a lot of cards. A lot of these card values, the values are pulled out of thin air. To me, it's what people are willing to pay for them, not some number that you made up. That's why with certain cards, after I go through and do a little bit of homework, I go through some eBay listings. Here, for example, I got a whole bunch of Paul Skeens cards that are listed that I was looking at what the market value is for a lot of these cards. I think I have 2 SGC 9.5s up there. One's out of 50, one's out of 75, so I try to price them accordingly. But a lot of these guys are pulling these values out of thin air, and I'm like, are you really that hard up for cash that you're looking to screw over your customer base and to try to manipulate the market and control prices, like with the shill bidding that goes on, for example, or people that don't pay for their orders, which has happened to me quite a few times, which is why now I've increased the security on my cards by using tamper-proof stickers. I put my cards in envelopes now because now people are starting to swap their cards for damaged ones. So now they're going to have to prove to me, and I take photos before I ship off my card so I can see exactly what it is that they're trying to swap out, and I'll be like, And then if eBay gets involved, I can show them, hey, I've done everything to protect my sales. This person's trying to get over. So, you know, there's all sorts of stuff that's going on right now where, like, you know, are people really that greedy that they will do everything just to get that perfect 10? You know, I learned my lesson over time that now I've gained a little bit more experience. Don't use chemicals. I don't use furniture polish anymore. Again, dear internet, open up your ears, jackasses. I don't use furniture polish anymore. I don't use the peanut butter anymore. I don't use anything except for microfiber cloths. And maybe a light paintbrush if there is a lot of schmutz or stuff that's on there, even after I clean. You know, I try to get the card as good as I can, and then of course pack it up. But I use zero chemicals at all. I don't even use water on my cards anymore. just because of the thought that if, God forbid, a card that I sell as an eBay seller, let's just say if I sold, I don't know, I'm going to pull out the pair, like this George Brecht from Upper Deck, that's part of my PC. Let's just say, okay, I sold this, and then some person uses something on it, and then they submit that to SGC or PSA. Well, who's it going to come back to and bite who in the ass? Me. You know what I mean? Or maybe I sold this to someone and they used the stuff. They're going to get into trouble now with PSA or SGC. PSA made it clear in their latest statement that they don't want chemicals. That if you're caught using any type of chemicals, or they're able to detect something, you're going to be held responsible. You're going to pay back charges, you're going to pay the price. And potentially, there could be legalities involved as well now. All because you want to flip a card because of greed. In some ways, in a lot of ways, I would almost prefer these cards to not be perfect 10s. Because even with their little flaws and things like that for my PC, to me it just seems so much better to have an imperfect card than have something that's like this. And unfortunately now, with the amount of greed that's going on, in particular, I know a lot of people are dealing with financial hard times. You can thank Bidenomics for that. And inflation, which is a thing. You know, in places like my former home in New York, where you're paying $8 for, you know, a dozen eggs, well, that says a lot. You know, and we see, you know, prices out of control down here as well. But it's reached a point where people are willing to go way too far with things, and it really needs to stop. It's truly an unfortunate thing now that the hobby has got to this point where people care more about filling their wallets than they do caring about these cards. I could pull any card out of here, out of my personal slab collection. And I'm very content with the cards I have. Whether or not they come back perfect is irrelevant. To me, I'm just happy to have some of these cards. Here's my my 5 reds from the Mitchell and Ness set. And they're not all, except for the Corbin Carroll, they're not perfect 10s. Because these are cards that I chased down, or I opened, or I wanted, and I got them. And they're really nice conversation pieces. But now it's just reached this ridiculous point where it's all about money. It's all about profit, and it's all about money. And these people simply do not care. And I've had people come on this channel in one of my previous videos constantly attacking the comments section on my Kurt's Card Cure videos, you know, defending this behavior. What you want to do with your personal collections is all on you. It's your money, your stuff, your property. You do what you want. But the minute you submit these cards to these card companies, now you're going to be held liable. Because God forbid something happens to one of those cards that's got Kurt's peanut butter all over it. I mean, I'm going to pull out, what's a good example? Let's just say, all right, here's a 15 out of 50 Jackson Merrill, 2022, Bowman Chrome. And you submit a card that's got an auto on there, and you can see my auto's nice and clean on this card. You take Kurt's peanut butter and you smudge it all over there. Not only does it suck for the buyer of that card, but over time, who knows what that wax is going to do to this card while it's encased in the slab. And now, some of these cards are super expensive. A lot of these cards are expensive. That Ethan Salas card that I got is probably valued at somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000 as a 1010 auto. There's a lot of money at stake. Not just because people are selling them for these prices, but because people like, people who are really, really, they really genuinely care. There are people that genuinely care for these cars. And they save up their money or they break their asses working all day, and then you, the scumbag seller, smudges Kurt's peanut butter all over these cards, and over time, well, what do you think is going to happen? We don't know. We haven't seen any examples of it yet. And that's why I did the videos that I did, because over time, who knows? If there's any of that peanut butter that solidifies, what's going to end up happening? There's going to be nothing but crumbs all inside this slab. And now you're going to be out of your hard-earned money. And that's what really sucks from the buyer's perspective. You expect that this card is perfect as is, that there's no peanut butter, there's no tampering, there's no anything with the cards. But of course, people are scumbags in today's Bidenomic world. People today are scumbags, and they would sell their mothers if they could. And that's a symptom of Bidenomics in today's economy. People don't care about anything except for ripping people off and scamming others. Here's a Spencer Jones 10. Who's to say that the person I bought, this is one of the slabs I bought. This is a chase card that I bought for myself as a Yankees fan. I don't know if the person who owned this card, if they used the peanut butter on here or not. I forgot how much I paid for this. I know it was 3 figures, but, I'm paying for a card that I want for my personal collection as a Yankees fan. And let's just say over time, let's just say this thing sits in a high heat, and this thing's been juiced or been covered with his jizz, the peanut butter. What's going to happen with this card? Now I'm going to be out all that money. What do I do at that point? Do I crack the slab or send it back to SGC? What do you do? And that's why I'm glad guys like Dan the Cardman and many others call this crap out. Why? I'm going to say it again publicly. I don't use anything on my cards that I sell to my customers, except for 3 different types of microfiber cloths. I don't use any furniture polish. I don't use any waxes. I don't use anything anymore, because of the potential of these cards getting damaged while they're inside these slabs. And PSA made that distinctly clear in their latest terms of service, that now you are going to be held liable should you try to submit a card to have it put into a slab. Now, we've already seen Dan the Cardman was very good at showing those slabs that had these autos on them, and you can clearly see those autos were smudged. And it's not fair. It's really not fair. Look at how nice and clean that auto is. It's just not right, and it's not fair to we collectors. That some piece of inhumane, greedy trash who only cares about filling their wallet will do everything that they can to rip somebody off. And that's really what it's all about. It's not fair to you guys. It's not fair to me. That's why I don't use anything any longer on cards. Here's my Mike Trout out of 25 from Mitchell & Ness. It's a 9. Completely content with that grade. Why would I want to put schmutz all over that card? But then again, also, I have a conscience. Here's an Ellie De La Cruz Perfect 10 Auto 9.5 mint. I'm completely content with that grade. Right now, currently, I've seen this particular card out of 25, as a matter of fact. Is it? Yeah. It's a bookend 1 out of 25. And I submitted this myself. Right now, it's going for probably anywhere between, I'm going to make a rough estimate here, and I'm going to be very conservative with my guess here. I'm going to say anywhere between $800 to maybe like $1,200 for this card. If it was a 1010, that would definitely bump the value up a little bit more. So I'm being very, very conservative here with my estimate, and that's only because it's got 1 or 2 little marks up on top, because it is a paper auto. So, and paper is very difficult to grade. The only thing I don't like, of course, it's that it's a sticker auto. but at least sticker auto is clean. There's no juice, hasn't been dipped, hasn't had the peanut butter on it. It's out of control, the hobby. CT scanners. We're going to start using X-ray CT scanners. I mean, I'm surprised guys aren't breaking boxes and then resealing them with counterfeit plastic. Or, I mean, resealing packs is actually a thing. I mean, how far are people willing to go just to fill their wallets? The hobby has become extremely cutthroat and greedy. And the ones that are complaining, whining, bitching, and moaning in the comment section of videos like mine and other content creators who genuinely care about the hobby, that's because we're a threat to their profit margins. It goes for any hobby, whether you're part of these, weirdo cosplay groups, or Magic the Gathering, or Pokemon, or whatever the hell. Everything and anything can be scammed, taken advantage of, abused, and then, of course, the ultimate, taking control of a hobby. No one controls hobbies. No one does. Not one individual, not a group of individuals. That's why a lot of guys like, Sports Card Radio and guys like that, Pat the NES Punk, Super Robot Ed. You got a lot of guys that are out there that really go after these people because it's out of control these days. Anything that can be scammed and used, and taken advantage of, and ripping people off of their hard-earned money, it's sick. And it's not fair to you, and it's certainly not fair to me. That's why I try to be as transparent as possible with my eBay sales. But now, again, with the card swapping, I've had to increase my security, and potentially cutting into my profit margin by having to add security stickers and envelopes to cards that I sell. So now the person who's trying to swap a card will have to prove to me that they didn't swap that card. Show me the envelope. Show me the cardboard sleeve that I put the card in. Because those stickers say void on the envelope. Because I know myself, I took photos of my cards. I know that there's no dings or scratches or anything like that. You're going to have to prove to me that that particular card was damaged. That's because people are swapping cards. Again, guys, this hobby is really getting out of control, and it's really making me think twice now about the future of myself being involved in card collecting. It's too much. It's become way too much. It's too greedy. It's too selfish. And the more of this stuff that I watch, it's the ones that are pushing back who are guilty of these ethical crimes that, to me, it ruins it for everyone. Anything that could be ruined or destroyed by people like this, it's cancer. It's real cancer. So to my customers, I really appreciate that you ladies and gentlemen, trust me with a lot of stuff. I know there was a couple hiccups here and there. Here, look, recently somebody retaliated against me because, you look in their positive feedbacks, you can clearly see negatives being left in a positive feedback column. And because they weren't willing to pay, suddenly they retaliated against me by leaving negative feedbacks. eBay, of course, protects these pieces of shit. Forgive me for cussing. We're dealing with CT scanning. We're dealing with people trying to get over on PSA now. Again, what you people do with your card collections, it's all up to you. But when it comes to this, oops. I don't get it. Are people really that hard up for money that you're willing to do everything and anything possible just to acquire the almighty dollar? Is this what the hobby has become? Like spitting Red Bull everywhere. Forgive me. It's just I'm passionate about this topic because there's a difference between making a few dollars for yourself and helping out your fellow collector and enjoying something that's meant to be innocent. But it's turning more and more and more into this. Rubbing down cards with Kurt's peanut butter on autos, on card autos, or even sticker autos. just to chase down a PSA 10 to increase their profit margins. It's the consigners, it's the box breakers, it's the greedy brick and mortar stores that are doing this. It's, you know, it's sick. I hope PSA comes down. I really do. I hope PSA comes down on a lot of these people and holds them responsible for what's going on. And I also hope that happens with Beckett. I hope it happens with SGC. These behaviors need to stop. It's fraud. It's fraud. There's no other way to put it. It's fraud. It's fraud, and when you're using CT scanners, it's cheating. Because now you're taking these boxes out of the hands of people that genuinely want them and flipping them for $1. And you know, guys and gals out there that want these cards now are forced to pay these pieces of shit thousands of dollars for patches, auto patches, or, you know, one of ones or superfractors or what have you. It's insane, man. Thank God with certain people that are out there that run honest to goodness card businesses out there. I mean, here, I talked about that recently with, where are you? Here, the Paul Skeens. I paid $1,138 for that, right? But it was through an honest auction, through a reputable eBayer, and I got my end-all be-all Paul Skeens. But why are there other Paul Skeens in this class out of 5 that are going for 3 or 4 times what I paid for? Where are they getting these values from? Greed. I was willing to pay this price because I wanted this particular card. I thought about other cards in its class and in this category. I've seen other refractors out of 5. I've seen autos. I was able to afford this, at least up to a point. If the auction would have gone a little further, I probably would have just given up. But there are honest to goodness eBayers out there who, you know, do the right thing. And for me, it was worth it to chase down my end-all be-all Paul Skeens. I also now have a Bobby Witt Jr. Gold Sapphire that I bid on, that I think I paid $400 and change for, because I want a Bobby Witt that's an end-all be-all. I don't want to chase any more Bobby Witt cards, and I got what I wanted. It was a nice little bidding war going on, and you know, I happened to have won the auction through an honest to goodness, you know, collector and seller like myself, which is good. That's how it should be. And now my PC, my personal collection, grows and grows. You know, I might not be like many of you. This is just this one section right here of this box is filled with personal collection slabs. And I hope to work on a second row. That's going to take time. But the problem is now, you know, it's worrisome, because now who knows what people are doing to these cards. And again, I have to reiterate, I don't use chemicals at all, period. Nothing. Zero. Again, I use 3 different types of microfiber cloths on my cards before I sell them as a seller, because like Topps Chrome is guilty of this. Everyone knows Bowman Chrome and Topps Chrome. With that surface on there, you'll get track marks and scuffs, and a microfiber takes it right off without having to use chemicals. But now when you're waxing a card, that thing's going to sit in that slab. It's no wonder why PSA says, okay, you get caught, you're getting held liable for this thing. You people that are destroying this hobby are responsible for everything that's going on. You're taking things out of the hands of collectors that want certain cards, just so that you can stuff money in your pocket. And it's not cool, man. And you know, more and more collectors like me need to stand up and put an end to this crap. And keep talking about it and put these people under pressure and stop them from doing it, or at least slow it down a little bit. You know, I was watching. I forgot what channel it was. It was an interview with the guy that runs PSA. I forgot what his name is. They were talking about maybe lead lining boxes of cards now. You know, the manufacturers. Let's try to imagine Topps, and through extension Bowman now having to line their boxes with lead, so that this way, like, the cards can't be scanned. It's like ridiculous. So don't come at. I hope you jackasses that are out there who are watching this video, don't come at me bitching, moaning, whining, and complaining. And don't go to other card collectors bitching, moaning, whining, and complaining who have YouTube channels that are standing up against this behavior. You know, people on this end, even though I am an eBay seller, I try to be reasonable, and I try to be transparent, I try to be honest. You know, I try, many of you have bought cards off me in the past. Maybe you're bidding on my cards right now. You know, I'm people are always messaging me. I message them back. I always take photos of the cards. I try to be transparent. You know, I do YouTube shorts when I ship out my cards so everybody can see, yep, your card's on the way. You know, and you can verify that between eBay and YouTube, which is cool. You know, I do everything I can. I go above and beyond as much as I can. Because things like this have forced me to. Because, unfortunately, of the lack of honesty and transparency. I don't want to ever find out that any of these, and these are PSA slabs that I bought through auction. I never want to find out that any of these slabs that I bought have the jizz on there, or have been dipped or soaked, or anything like that. Because it would piss me off to no end. That who knows if those autos, like this one here, are going to be ruined by the jizz. Here's my Juan Soto. Thank God, hopefully there was no peanut butter smeared all over that. Or my Jackson Merrill orange speckle. Or shimmer, I should say, excuse me. It's hard to trust anymore if you're a collector. How am I to know if there was any schmutz or Kurt's peanut butter put all over these cards? And I don't even know. How do you tell? And who knows what's going to happen to these cards over time while they sit in these slabs. Right now, the sun is trying to peek through the clouds here because we just had a little bit of a small rain shower. Now I'm holding these up to the sun. Who's to say that wax is on these cards and doesn't start melting all over these cards and then warps and damages and stains these cards? There's my Shohei Ohtani Bowman Chrome rookie. Who's to say there's schmutz all over this card? Tops Now Shohei. Another Tops Now Shohei. Who's to say there's schmutz all over this card? Or my Ellie De La Cruz Bowman Chrome. That's a green mojo. Out of 99. Who's to say there's schmutz all over this card? You just don't know anymore. And that's what's causing the backlash. Kurt still won't release the chemical composition of what's in that spray or what's in the wax. Again, I'm not bashing. I've got to make this clear. I'm not bashing Kurt. I'm not bad-mouthing him. I'm not making fun of him. I'm not accusing him of certain things, because there are a lot of YouTube content creators that have really said some slanderous things about the man. I will not do that. I'm sure he's a nice fella. He sounds like a nice fella. He's got a family. But, it's the product in and of itself that we have to be concerned about, whether any of you like it or not. PSA is the gatekeeper when it comes to grading, and it's greedy bastards like you that are destroying this hobby. CT scanners, dipping cards, soaking cards, and now waxing cards and putting chemicals all over the cards. And again, I'm going to make it clear again for those that have selective hearing. I don't use anything but a microfiber cloth anymore. PSA says it right in their terms of service. You use a microfiber cloth. You want to use a little water, that's fine by us. But if we catch anything on these cards, especially with the new terms of service, you will be reliable for that. Period. End of discussion. So I really wanted to do a review video of some stuff, but it's just the more I see this stuff, the more aggravating it gets. And it really makes me upset because I'm trying to run an honest business myself, for the sake of the hobby. And I wish other people were, and they're not. So, but I thank all of you that have trusted in me and my eBay store. I'm glad a lot of you, are enjoying the cards that I've been selling. Again, I think I got like 17 cards now that have been bid on. One person paid. I'm still waiting for another customer to pay for theirs. Hopefully these other auctions end so I can get everything out in bulk at once at the post office. Otherwise, I got to mail out 1 or 2 cards, but that's fine. You know, and of course I'll upload an eBay short, a YouTube short when that happens. But there's just this lack of honesty. It's really making a hobby awful. So with that being said, this video is already 40 minutes long. I'm sure some jackasses that are out there are going to be keyboard warriors and you don't own the hobby. You don't own the hobby. The hobby is supposed to be for everyone. You know, like how these commie, socialist, who pronoun freaks talk about. It's about everyone. Is that really true? Let's find out. I don't support their ideology, but the idea of the hobby being for everyone and not just for a select few. Let's challenge that idea. How many of you are willing to be honest with what it is you do with these cards? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, rant over. Time to get back to reviewing some stuff. I got some Bowman Chrome coming, like I said in the beginning of this video. As far as the mega boxes are concerned, my order finally got processed, so I don't know if it'll come today. It's already almost 3 o'clock at the time I'm making this video. And I got a whole bunch of toys and collectibles, and I have the costume I'm working on, so there's a ton of stuff to review on the channel. So it's just unfortunate that we got to discuss subjects like this, because the more we talk about it, the more we get it out there, the more we can hopefully put an end to it, or at least slow it down, because it's not fair to you and it's not fair to me as a buyer and a seller. And I won't do that to my customers. All right, everyone. As you can tell, my voice is starting to get scratchy. It's the humidity out here. So anyway, everyone, oh my God, yikes. Help, I'm dying. Always expect the unexpected on this channel. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, before I choke to death here, like, comment, subscribe. I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Thank you so much, everyone, for enjoying my channel and watching my content. Don't forget, check out my eBay store. And I'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care. And again, my condolences and prayers go out to my fellow Carolinians. And hopefully they're able to recover quickly. So take care, everyone. See you soon.